This is Aware, powered by Intersoft Associates. Aware is your connection to exploring the systems and software that power businesses like yours with expert insight, experience, and advice.
Welcome back to Aware. I'm Chris Bentliff, and as always, I have Hi Goldstuff and Abe Unger from Intersoft Associates with me. And today, guys, I want to talk a little bit about your company. I think when I'm looking for a custom software company, I think that I have some things in mind. I think that I have some problem that I am trying to solve, or I think that I need some custom software for something. How do I start? Where do I begin? Is it complicated? Do I need to be a real techno person to understand what I need when it comes to software? Walk me through what I should be thinking of from an experience with a custom software company, whether it's Intersoft Associates or it's somebody else. How do I start this engagement? How do I start thinking about it?
First of all, you have to realize that you have a need that, hopefully software and standardization via software, can solve. And there are lots of ways to do that. It could be a package off the shelf. You need to, manage your finances. QuickBooks might be all you need. So you have to have a need. Are there inefficiencies? Is my business growing? Do I have old software that I need? Do I have a new initiative that I think will have a major impact on my organization? So that's really the first step, is the realization that that you're having a business problem or a business need or a business opportunity where software may be the engine that solves that issue and moves you forward.
From your perspective, where does development and consultancy sort of overlap? Because maybe, as you point out, I don't need something custom. Maybe I just need a better understanding of what my options are. How do you start that with me? Is there a discovery process or something that is more consultative?
No, it really isn't. It's yes, there's a discovery process, but it's really not complicated. All it requires is that you know your business and your processes. Once we get beyond that, and we can have some sort of an idea of what the scope of the work is, we can determine will a package be better for you, and if it is, that's great. We don't want people who have a better alternative to spend money with us. There are benefits to packaged software, and nowadays software as a service, and there are other benefits to custom software. If you've got some unique requirements, or you've got a better mousetrap, or you have internal processes that just can be optimized, then you should look at custom software.
And as a consultancy, what we do is talk to you about the problem. The solution may not be a custom software solution. It may be a hybrid solution. It may be an off-the-shelf solution. But whatever that may be, you start the conversation, know what it is that you need in terms of a business perspective, and then we can talk about the technology and how that can help in the problem. But the first step is really that conversation. Talk about understanding that there's something that you're lacking or something that you need, and then we can talk about the potential solutions to get you to that point. And it may be a full software solution, it may be a hybrid solution where we start with something connecting to some kind of off-the-shelf software, as I was mentioning, maybe interfacing with a QuickBooks application or some other custom database that you may or may not have, produce some kind of reporting for you that may ultimately become a full solution. But that's the conversation, and understanding that business as a consultancy, we can help with that process.
Yeah, and consulting is the real engine that drives this. It's understanding, how your process, how you can improve your business, how you can have an impact, how an impact can be had on your business, and software then becomes a tool to deliver that. And if you've got the proper foundation, the proper software can have a real impact. And more important, not more important, but certainly important as well, is you want to build something that's scalable, that as you grow will be able to adapt with your growth. So consulting. And that's where we've, been extremely, extremely helpful to our clients. Is that consulting aspect where we really, really drill down, not only to the issue at hand, but to the all the other touch points of the business that may benefit from doing this core application. Um, One of our clients, a major, Fortune 500 company, we were doing some work. This is Pearson Education, doing some work in the area of intellectual property acquisition, and we noticed, a huge opportunity because data isn't being recorded as to what's being acquired. And to make a long story short, we were able to save them $3 million a year in avoided royalty costs. Now that's because we dug down much more deeply than the superficial. We want to acquire intellectual property, but what else goes along with that? And that's just having conversations with senior management and all the people down the line who are actually doing the work.
We joked at the beginning, Abe, with pick up the phone, but I think one of the obstacles here is, tell me if you agree, is do people think they need to have a more complete picture of what their problem is before they get engaged with you, when really they just need to know they have a problem or an outcome they'd love to achieve? And part of what you do, part of what any good consultancy here should do, is help me figure that out.
No, absolutely, and that's exactly it. Part of the problem that people have is they think they need a full development plan, and then they go to a developer and say, "Oh, here's my plan. Now build this for me." And that may work in some environments, but a consultancy is not. That's not the job of a consultant. The consultant is to talk to you about your process and then figure out from there what has to happen. So that conversation can happen way back in the beginning before you've even thought about implementation plans, what you want out of the system. As long as you know you need something, whether it's more data, whether it's something that can impact the business, whether, as I said, it's a growth in business that you sort of can't handle with the current processes, start the conversation. The earlier you start the conversation, the better off that process will be. And the job of us as a consultant is to help you get there. Talk about those things that you've thought about, talk about the things that you have not thought about. And we, based on our experience, know that in other businesses or in other areas, these are important concepts that we need to talk about and integrate into the solution. But definitely step number one is just to have that conversation, because that's going to help and that's going to focus where the rest of the conversation is going to go and where the process is going to go.
And a lot of what we do, really has an impact in terms of efficiency. One of our clients that has actually, been with us for 15 years, we've helped grow them through a lot of different things: consulting, software about that, strategy. They've grown 10 times, and they're a service business, and they've grown 10 times, and they've only added maybe 25% or 30% to their staff. So, that's because all of these manual processes, were automated. And we came up with, we believe, novel ways to do things that were, really time, what I'm looking for, really uses up a lot of time. And we were able to automate that and provide better results than what people could do.
Is there if I look at the whole landscape of custom software development, custom software consultants, is there something that I should really kind of keep my radar up? Is there something that can be problematic? Are there questions I should be asking? What are some of those questions I should be asking if I don't know what I'm getting into, Abe? And part of what I should do is just get up on the phone. I might be reticent to do that because I don't know what I don't know, and I want to make sure I'm having the right conversation. I don't want to be taken advantage of. I don't want somebody telling me I need a bunch of this if I don't need a bunch of that. Should I be looking for something? Should I be coming more prepared with something? Are there any pitfalls or bad actors out there that make you, if somebody says this or that, double check that? What should I be thinking about as I get going?
So one of the things that you can do is go to our website, take a look at some of the information that we have out there that will help you in terms of how to talk to a software development company or a consultancy so that you can actually follow through that process. So whether it's with us or somebody else, you've got some pointers there that'll help you point you in the right direction in terms of that conversation, what to ask for, what to think about, what to know about. Obviously, if you call us, we go through that process with you and talk through that process with you. So even if you've had a conversation with another software company and something doesn't sound right or pass the smell test, by all means, give someone else a call. You want a medical procedure, you always go for a second opinion. Go for the second opinion. Talk to somebody else. See what that is. Obviously, talk to us because we can definitely help in that area.
I mean, and what you don't want to do is you don't want to talk to any kind of a software company that just takes orders, that will, do what you ask them to do, as opposed to drilling down and determine, collaboratively what in fact will have an impact. And that's really, really important. I had one client, the CTO of one client, who was talking about certain the software companies. If I asked them to do the equivalent of build a car with 5.5 wheels, they would actually try to do that. So it's a matter of what can have an impact. We are always invested in our client's success, and if our client succeeds, we've done our job. If our client just pays us money, we're really not interested in that. Sounds hokey, but
I think it's. You mentioned earlier, 15 years you've had a particular client. You don't get to be in business this long by not doing things the right way and having values that are centered around that. How has software development, the software has changed so dramatically, but how does your experience and longevity in this industry, how does that create an advantage for you? How does that create an advantage for your customers who are trying to do this kind of thing? I imagine that experience is really valuable to be able to pull from so many different, there's probably not a lot you guys haven't faced or seen or done.
It really has given us, it's given us a wide breadth of experience in process improvement and software process improvement. There aren't that many principles to developing good software, and one of the important ones is that our job is not to make you a computer user, but to make you do your job better by the use of software. And ultimately, we want to certainly impact the bottom line and do things much more efficiently and accurately. And sometimes we can affect the top line, where we can actually generate more revenue. It's not a common occurrence, but it happens. It happens often enough where we've actually helped impact that top line just because of all the data we capture.
And so we really understand process. After going through doing this years and years and years, it's really the process that's going to help, or the workflow that you go through on your daily basis and things that you do and things that you need. So for each business, the details may be different, but at a top level, you're doing the same kind of thing. You're entering data or capturing some data and then trying to report on that so that it helps you down the line. There may be benefits in the middle where it's data entry that's causing a problem, and this helps with the data entry and make that process faster, or it just may be the point of decision making where now that we have this data, how can we use that to make better decisions for the future? But understanding all the different businesses that are out there and how they work and how software can integrate to that process definitely makes us beneficial. And we may not know the details of every business that's ever going to come to us, but we know enough to ask the right questions so that we can understand the business from that process perspective to build software that's going to help you and work with the organization.
And also to go back to your original question, how has software changed? Software really hasn't changed. I mean, it has a bit, but the resources available and how to use them, what's available today as resources, being the network, being, the cloud. There's so many, other systems that we can talk to, being aware of what all of these are. And that's where, you need someone who's current. Being aware of what all of these are, we can understand how we can help the client improve his process. Not because it's cool, not because it's sexy, because it will make an impact. We're not interested in cool and sexy. We're interested in what works for you to make your business better, grow, make all those just create tremendous efficiencies.
That's great advice. Hi, and thanks so much as always, Abe Unger and Hi Goldstoff from Intersoft Associates. Great context today as we start thinking about what you might need from a custom software development. Some of my big takeaways are you don't need to be a techno computer user. Hi, I loved how you put it. We're not trying to make you something you're not. We're just trying to help solve business problems, and that's where it all comes down to. Thanks again, guys. Had a great conversation today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks for joining us for IsAware, and a special thanks to our subscribers. Consider becoming one today. IsAware is powered by Intersoft Associates, who believes the more you know about your IT, the better. Visit us at intersoftassociates.com and schedule your free consultation to talk about how custom software can help your business.